You'd expect a 600-year-old sport to have played through its identity crisis. Not the case for pool. The sport's very name comes from pooling money to determine odds, and wagering lends pool mystique. Hustling and pool go together like a cue stick and chalk. But that's as much a curse as a blessing. How can a sport thrive at the highest level when so much of it exists in the shadows? Well, here comes Shane Van Boening from Rapid City. As we first told you in December, at age 39 with no interest in gambling, Van Boening is arguably the best American player ever to break a rack, and was ranked #1 in the world for 2022. He also happens to be deaf. Can the South Dakota kid help turn pool, popular in bars and basements but not on TV, into a proper pro sport? We hit the circuit with him to find out.
The story will continue in a moment.
Another day, another casino hotel. Shane Van Boening spends 300 days a year on the road playing professional pool. Today, he's clocking in early at the jamboree of American pool tournaments, the Derby City Classic. Held every January outside Louisville, Derby City is a colorful expression of pool's split personality. Downstairs, a felt ocean drawing dozens of the world's best practitioners. They compete 12 hours a day for 9 days in multiple events. This winner is smiling ear to ear, and his check tops out at $16,000. But upstairs, it's a different economy. Behold pool's zestier side. Pop-up action rooms, standing room only, where pros, amateurs, and wannabes alike come to the table for unofficial competition. The signs say no smoking and no gambling, and we sure didn't see any smoking. Tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, big timber they call it, change hands until the sun comes up. One player we didn't see gambling upstairs, Shane Van Boening. A generational talent known for his killer break. Van Boening has won the U.S. Open 5 times and been named Player of the Decade. Deaf since birth, he wears hearing aids and shuts down any question that makes it harder for him to play pool.
It's actually a big advantage for me.
How's that?
You know, when I play a pool tournament, I can just shut it off.
Do you shut your hearing aids off when you play?
When I won my first U.S. Open, I had everything off, I was focused.
Total silence?
Yes. I'm totally, 100% zoned in.
Never more zoned in than in 2018, when he led the United States to victory over Europe at the Mosconi Cup, pool's answer to golf's Ryder Cup.
And he is going for it.
He closed it out with an off-angle, long-distance 1-9 combo, this high-risk, high-reward, pressure-packed shot.
What a shot! Shane Van Boening and Team USA! Unbelievable finish!
Think you could have made that shot? We went to Rapid City, South Dakota, a side pocket of America, to Van Boening's pool hall, where he explained that making balls disappear into pockets is only half of pool excellence. It's also about setting up your next shots. Cue ball control, they call it.
And I'm gonna make the cue ball stop right here so I can shoot the 2 on the side. Then I'm gonna...
You did that how? How did you do that?
just hit it right below center.
So now it lines up that next ball perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm so struck by the geometry of all this.
Yeah, I love geometry. It's all about the angles.
Van Boening says he can see every angle on the table, a sixth sense that comes from practicing as much as 10 hours a day, shooting 500,000 balls a year.
I want to make the shot perfect. You know, the only way to hit it perfect, you got to do it over and over and over.
Can you be perfect in this sport?
No. I tried so hard all these years.
Van Boening comes by it honestly. His grandfather, Gary Bloomberg, a known trick shot artist, opened pool halls off I-90. Easy access for hustlers passing across the Great Plains. But these rooms were family-friendly places. So much so, Shane got his first pool cue when he was 2 and went to the pool room every day after school. Not just to play, but to escape kids who picked on him for being deaf. How bad did it get?
The kid would start throwing rocks at me. They would put gum in my hair. And then I would go home to my mom. I'd be going home crying, you know. And then she made me feel better by asking me, "You want to go to the pool?"
Why did coming to the pool room make you feel better?
You know, when you walk in the pool room, what do you see? You know, you see people having a good time.
But it was more than that. He had prodigious ability for thinking multiple strokes ahead. When Van Boening was 18, he hit the road. He and his uncle loaded into an RV looking for money games.
Came to play pool, Pats.
Of course they did. The hustler, that stealth roadman armed only with a wooden stick and confidence, divorcing the locals from their cash, has been romanticized for decades, not least by Paul Newman. This reporter was so taken by pool hustling, he once wrote a book about it. For Van Boening, the romance hit the rocks abruptly.
Yeah, I actually was playing the pool in Tennessee, and I was playing this guy for money, and we were playing for a whole lot, and he was losing, and he picked up the cue ball and threw it at me.
Where'd he hit you?
Hit me right on the chest.
It's the kind of thing you do to start a fight.
Yeah.
How'd you react?
I told my uncle, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live on the road anymore. It's just too dangerous.
Here we go for the title.
He chose to go legit and began playing and winning proper tournaments. Though less lucrative than the rambling gambling life, Van Boening enjoyed being a professional. Did you worry that coming in off the road was going to impact your finances?
I know some of the pool players, like the top pool players, were making money, so if they can do it, I can do it.
But pool is a deceptively tricky sport.
Next up, two superpowers collide.
Just ask Shane's Scottish counterpart, Jason Shaw, another top player. Earlier this year, Shaw holed up in a Virginia pool room for 5 days and broke the straight pool record, making 714 shots in a row.
The stuff that happens in pool will completely screw your brain up.
What do you mean?
You'll see shots and you'll be like, how did that happen? You'll hear that all day. How did that land over there? Or, did you see that? How that went in? In pool, you see it every game, something weird will happen.
Does that make it more exhilarating or more frustrating?
Both. Mentally, you want to like flip the table at some point.
You ever flip the table?
No, I've thought about it a few times.
People come in and, how hard could it be? It's just a rectangle with 6 pockets.
And then 20 minutes later, there's still 15 balls on the table. They've not potted a ball, and the guy's like scratching his head like, I thought this was easy. It's not.
We watched you at Derby City play Jason Shaw.
Jason who?
Yeah. Is he a rival?
Yeah, it's been going on for several years now. He's a great player, and we're always going to have a battle.
You okay with that?
Yeah, you have to accept losing. If you don't accept losing, you're going to go crazy.
How thick is this ice right here?
If having a rival is central to being an elite athlete, so is this. Leaving time to clear your head. So it was we found ourselves following Shane Van Boening out onto Pactola Lake in the Black Hills. Van Boening goes fishing, season be damned, every morning when he's back home. We didn't catch any fish. We did catch Van Boening's drift, though, his take on the virtues of complete silence. Vanity plate notwithstanding, few extravagances come with being #1 in pool. The Ragtag Pro Tour, barely televised in the U.S., struggles to draw much interest or investment outside of pool diehards. How many sponsors do you have?
I have 6 sponsors.
Cues and tables and pool products.
Yes.
And any sponsors outside of pool?
No.
What can a top player make legit?
Top player in pool can make only 6 figures. After expenses, maybe 5 figures.
No one's making $1 million
No.
as a pool player.
It's never happened.
Van Boening says cleaning up the sport, doing away with backroom money games, would lure big corporate sponsors, big media deals, and grow professional pool. We saw firsthand his discomfort with gambling and all that comes with it. When we interviewed you in Derby City, I don't know if you remember, the interview was interrupted. Do you recall what happened?
Oh, the gambling? Was that what happened? Yeah.
It was morning at Derby City, and the action upstairs from the night before was still simmering.
Are they arguing?
Over the course of a few minutes, 2 players who'd bet on a game nearly came to blows.
You cannot gamble, you know.
Van Boening could only shake his head.
It got to be a clean sport.
Enter Pro Pool's unlikely new guardian, Emily Fraser of the British sports promoter Matchroom. The company recently revamped pro darts and snooker in the UK, streamlining their circuits and turning top players into celebrities who make millions.
Cool, that's where the trophy sits.
Fraser is tasked with doing the same for pool, and she says gambling is the least of her worries.
What's the state of professional pool today?
An absolute mess.
Why do you say that?
The first ever US Open that I did in 2019, oh my gosh, the players turned up. They were in jeans. And I'm going, hang on a second, like, what's happening here? Why is this guy turning up in jeans?
Fraser has asked pro players to dress the part, but she won't ask them to give up their side hustles.
Now, all of the basement tables and the money matches, I think that's brilliant. And that can still, yeah, I think that's fantastic because it's got the history behind it.
You're okay if people are still there gambling and playing money games?
As far as I'm concerned, in a couple of years' time, they won't need to have any money matches.
It'll be obsolete. The market will do its thing.
Exactly, but right now, it's not viewed as this professional sport, and it has all the ingredients to be one.
She's standardized the format. This is commercialized, sponsor-friendly 9-ball, not the solids and stripes 8-ball you've likely played. In October at the US Open, held in Atlantic City, Fraser brought in bigger live audiences and ramped up TV production. She's kept one pool hallmark, the smoke-filled room. Close, but no cigar. There's a machine puffing away in the corner. When the smoke cleared, there was Shane Van Boening. He was fresh off winning his first world championship, sealing his status atop the sport. He confided to us that he'd slept with the trophy for a month. Van Boening is mobbed at pool tournaments, but can still walk through an airport unbothered.
Well, he's no LeBron James, and I totally understand that, and I recognise that. It's our job to turn that around. It is our responsibility to turn that world #1 prize money from $80,000 to $1 million. So it's prize money, it's more events, and let's get these players known. You've got to fall in love with them.
Are they lovable?
Yes, some of them. I know.
The health of the sport also depends on minting a new generation of elite players. So this tournament had a junior division held alongside the pros and named, what else, the Shane Van Boening Junior Open.
These are future pros?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. They have so much passion for the game. And then I'm gonna shoot the 6.
Back at the pool hall in Rapid City, we experienced pool's highs and lows in the same hour.
You didn't even let me hit a ball.
Ever the sports gentleman, Shane Van Boening wouldn't let us leave without setting us up to sink a trick shot. Pool may or may not clean up its act, but any sport that can provide this kind of pure, simple thrill,
Just go right down the middle?
Yep, right down the middle.
you reckon it'll survive just fine.
Oh. You got that.